All right, well, it's deja vu. We've heard this before regarding the ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas. It's the same story. Israel has presented a ceasefire agreement. It's an Israeli ceasefire agreement. And it's just up to Hamas to agree to it. Here's Antony Blinken saying exactly this after his meeting with Netanyahu today. Watch this.
In a very constructive meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu today, he confirmed to me that Israel accepts the bridging proposal, that he supports it. It's now incumbent on Hamas to do the same. Okay, so first of all, it's not an actual ceasefire agreement. It is a bridging agreement, whatever that is. So they're calling it a bridge. It's just a bridge. We're not at a ceasefire yet, but this is kind of the bridge to get to the ceasefire agreement. Also, it doesn't actually call, so there's no ceasefire in this agreement whatsoever. Here's Adil Haq. This is a professor at Rutgers Law, and he kind of summarizes what the deal is that Hamas is supposed to accept, that they're claiming it's just up to Hamas. It's, they're the ones who don't like peace. He says this is not the deal Biden put forward on May 31st or the one endorsed by the Security Council in Resolution 2735. Zooming in, more specifically, Hamas objects to the fact that the proposal doesn't include a permanent ceasefire or comprehensive Israeli withdrawal from the Gaza Strip. It would also not allow the free movement of civilians from southern Gaza to the north because it endorses Netanyahu's demand for control of the Netzarim corridor. The proposal would also give Israel control of the Rafah crossing and the Philadelphia corridor along the Egypt-Gaza border, as Netanyahu has demanded per the Hamas statement. So why would Hamas accept a supposed ceasefire that is not a ceasefire and continues to allow Israel to control the Gaza Strip and the borders? That is not in particular, the fact that it's not a real ceasefire agreement, that it's just a pause, that Israel wants their hostages back. And as soon as they get their hostages back, they're going to pummel Gaza some more. They're going to continue pummeling them. And the worst part about it is that the order of events is that Antony Blinken met with the officials in Egypt and Qatar, came up with a proposal, went to Netanyahu, and Hamas had agreed to the proposal at that point and said, okay, that sounds good. It was a real ceasefire agreement. Goes to Netanyahu, and Netanyahu says, no, I'm not going to accept this agreement. We need to modify this. So then Blinken basically does whatever Netanyahu wants and allows him to rewrite the agreement to where it is no longer really an agreement. It's just a pause, and the Israelis control everything. And then Blinken does this press conference where he says, it's up to Hamas now. They've got to accept this agreement. That's not really an agreement at all. That's instead been rewritten by the Israelis. It is not the original agreement.